All right, so tonight, September 17th, we have a partial lunar eclipse in Pisces, which is conjunct Neptune and Saturn. It's the start of a little auspicious time. So for the next 2 weeks, we are in the middle of eclipse season. This is kind of an anything goes time. I think if relationships end, it was fated. If relationships start, it was fated. If an opportunity comes across your path, this is definitely the time to pay attention. Piscean energy is mystical and magical. The lower end of Pisces is chaotic, disorganized, lazy, and messy. So depending on where you have Pisces in your chart, it will be affecting you in different areas. Pisces rising, it's your first house, so your ego. Aqua risings, it's your second house, money, self-worth. Cap rising, your third house, communication. Sag rising, it's your fourth house, so that's like home, family. Scorpio rising, it's your fifth house, so creativity, fun. If you are a Libra rising, it is your sixth house, so areas that would be highlighted are your daily routines, your health. For Virgo risings, it is your seventh house, so it would be relationships. Eighth house would be for Leo risings. That would be like occult studies, taxes, taboo, astrology topics. If you are a Cancer rising, it's your ninth house, philosophy, religion, higher education. If you are a Gemini rising, it's your 10th house, so it would be impacting areas around work. If you are a Taurus rising, it's your 11th house, so it's in looking at your friendships, your social networks. And if you are an Aries rising, it's in your 12th house, which would be like hidden topics. So hidden agendas, hidden motives, those are all areas where our intuition is spiking. Our intuition is kicking up a notch. Neptune is also a very Piscean energy. Neptune is mystical and magic, but it can be illusions and delusion. So where are you being a little delulu? We have our sun in Virgo. So Pisces and Virgo is an axis, they're opposites. And Virgo is very detail oriented. Virgo is also very intuitive. It's a feminine sign, but it is intuitive, intellectual, organized. The lower end of Virgo is control, it's power, it's, I want to say insatiability, but I don't know if that applies to all Virgos. But the lower end of Virgo is nitpicky, OCD, very controlling. So again, depending on how much healing you've done, how much ascension you've done, if you've been able to transcend some of those lower frequencies, you're going to be feeling a little bit different. But the Pisces and Virgo axis is all about like bringing your dreams down into reality. So if you've been able to ascend past those lower frequencies of power, control, and disorganization, you're transcending into the mystical and the magical and how you can bring that down to earth. With Saturn being in Pisces as well, Saturn, I actually love Saturn. I feel like he is like the sugar daddy, he's the Mac daddy, he's karma. He is coming in to show you discipline. He is coming in to show you where you need to put in work. And, it can, again, be a beautiful thing depending on how much you've ascended. But if you have accepted, okay, this is an area that I got to look into, this is an area that I need work in, look to where you have Saturn in your chart. But Saturn is, again, like bringing discipline to our dreams. And, I am very sensitive to the energy of the planet, like way more so than I wish that I was. So I really can pick up on the energies of the planet, and, I don't sleep very well during full moons. So I was up a lot last night and just really thinking, I didn't go through that healing for myself. I know that it was not just for me. I went through that so I could help other people, because I know that other people are going to be going through it. I know that as we, 2025, all planets change signs. It really is going to be a time of newness, of freshness, of fresh karma. And right now, again, with Pluto going back into retrograde in Capricorn, it's a matter of like finishing up these last minute things, beliefs, structural systems. It could be those karmic relationships that you've been in for a long time. It's time to get off the ride. If that's not truly your alignment, at this point, cosmically, you're not going to be able to withstand kind of the chaos that's going to surround you the next few months. You will have to make changes. You just will. And it's not just relationships, it's belief systems, it's limiting beliefs, it's those old structural beliefs, it's fear, it's all of that we have to shed. I really have been called to be seen. And it's not, I don't love it. I don't, it's interesting how in a relationship I wanted to be seen so badly and wasn't, but really it wasn't. I was not seeing myself correctly. And I had to go through that healing process to see myself correctly. But it really to help other people see themselves correctly too. And I think that my fear of being seen replicated again and was highlighted and mirrored to me in relationships. I am extremely intuitive, so being in the real world, dating, whatever, is kind of an odd experience because I see you. I see through you, I see your intentions, I see what you're trying to hide. And I think that can be very intriguing at first. It's also terrifying to those who don't want to be seen, who don't, they don't want to be seen. They don't want people to know, that they're insecure on the inside, that they struggle with being courageous, that they have struggled with finances, whatever. But it's like none of that stuff matters. Like, we're all human. We all have struggled with the same things. Like, I guarantee you we've all faced, this fear of rejection. We've faced this feeling of abandonment, that if I show them my true selves, are they going to leave me? That was a deep wound of mine. My mom left when I was like 7 or 8. Are you kidding? That was huge. It was a huge one for me. And if I appease the people around me, then I could somewhat ensure that they wouldn't leave. But I abandoned myself in the process 100%. And, I think a lot of people have done that. I think a lot of people have abandoned themselves and their true nature to appease somebody else, to appease society, to appease their parents, a partner, whoever. But it's like this inauthenticity will just sit on you and it will sit on your chest. And people have not always liked my truths. And, I get it. Maybe I haven't always said it in a way that was nice and super compassionate. I understand that. But I have always said the truth. And I haven't said it to hurt people. I have said it because, hey, I see why you're treating me that way and I don't like it, or just calling attention to the situation in general. When you are extremely intuitive and people know that, they will do everything in their power to convince you otherwise and convince you that your feelings are not real, that your intuition is not real. And I had to live through that for, what feels like my whole life. So to now step into my power, to step into what I know that I'm extremely intuitive. I know that I can see into people. I know that I can see their patterns of behavior. I know I can just read people. I'm just very good at it. And I don't do it, because I want to know everything about you. It's just, I can see energy. I can feel it. I can feel where the holes are. I can feel where the wounds are. And, the last 2 years of this spiritual awakening of mine it was tough, and I didn't know who to trust, and I didn't know who to go to. And there's a lot of information out there that you can read and look into. For me, I had to like completely go within myself and limit as much information from the outside world as possible. I really stopped watching TV for the most part. I wasn't reading that much. Like, I wasn't listening to podcasts. Like, I wasn't doing all of those things because I needed to get to who I was and the information that I knew that was inside me. And we all have this wealth of knowledge. We all have Christ consciousness inside of us. And I think it's time we wake up to that. I think it's time we wake up to the beauty of the Creator and that we are all a part of that. And I think that this full moon is the start. So next year, the collective North Node moves from Aries, it moves backwards into Pisces. And then our collective South Node will be in Virgo. So right now it's in Aries and Libra. So those who have Aries and Libra placements, you could be feeling that. The North Node, collectively, it's in Aries. Aries is, Aries to me, it's the first of the fire signs. It's like a young buck. Aries energy is very much like the horse at the stall, ready to go, doesn't have a plan, push. He's just ready to go. And again, that Libra energy is justice. Libra energy, the high side of Libra energy is justice and fairness. The low side of Libra energy is codependency. And again, that's what people have been breaking these last 2 years that the Libra South Node has been there. It is breaking these karmic patterns that have really honestly stemmed from past lives, breaking this codependency that we've had with family, friends, money, whatever it is, breaking that cycle to move into this emperor kind of energy, move into this, I'm in charge of my life. Now, where is that collective energy moving? It's moving into the whimsical Pisces with the South Node in Virgo. So next we're going to be releasing our power and control and really surrendering to the magic of the universe. Collectively, that is where we are moving into in 2025. With Pluto going into Aquarius on November 19th, we'll get a taste of that. Aquarius energy is humanitarian, it's community, and I really do think that people are craving community. They're craving their tribes. They're craving that feeling of raising your babies with friends and, husbands going to work and coming home and having a community to come home to. I think that, men have gotten a bad rap for a long time, and men crave community and love and family just as much as women do. If not, I think a little bit more, if I'm honest. And they need to step into that. We need men to step into that energy of protection and no longer subscribe to the paradigms that to be a man, it's only this one thing that honestly most men are not at all. Most men are not womanizers. Most men have been told through music, through movies, through TV shows, through their fathers, whatever, this macho man, got to go out and get all the girls. But you were not designed that way. You were designed to find, maybe not everybody has a soulmate, maybe not everybody wants this, but I do believe that divine men and divine women were designed for partnership, for community, for interdependence, and that part of transitioning out of the wounded or distorted masculine or feminine energies is getting into this balance of interdependence in the masculine and feminine energies within the community. And again, it's not just about romantic partnerships, it's coworkers, it's friendships. I want all the men in my life to, make their wildest dreams come true, because their dreams are great and they're worthy. I want all the women in my life to do the same. I want all of us to collectively step into the magic of the universe, because it exists, it's around us, it's pulsating through us. You know, last night I took my dogs on a walk and 6 parakeets circled my head, I don't know, 4 or 5 times. I didn't have my phone, and finished my walk with my dogs and brought them in the house and grabbed my phone, went back out just to see if I could find them. And then 10 parakeets flew over my house. And I don't think that's a coincidence. Some people can think I'm bonkers, you know. People have tried to convince me I've been crazy my whole life. You can't do it. I'm not crazy. I am a mystical creature. I am magical, and I believe in magic, and I believe in following my dreams and stepping out of my comfort zone, you know, being okay with being seen. You know, the relationships that I had really showed me my fear of being seen. They really showed me, because I was attracting partners that didn't want me to see them. So it really did show me, okay, that's something that I need to work on. I need to work on, like, it's okay for people to see me. It's okay for people to know me and know what I've been through, know what I've done, you know the growth that I've had. When you've been counted out your whole life, the battle that I had to fight to get here was a big one. And, you know, I was counted out quite a few times, and from people who never should have, from the people who should have supported me and should have uplifted me and should have been there for me. But quite frankly, you know, I think that if they knew how great I was, you know, it was a self-fulfilling prophecy, right? But I think that if in their mind, if they knew how great I was, I wouldn't have been with them. And that's really sad, you know, that people would harm other people just to get their own needs met, you know, and it's just something I have struggled with. So, like, it's okay for people to know that. It's okay for people to know that I have struggled. I overcame a lot. People knew the full story. Like, it is amazing that I am where I am. It is amazing that I've accomplished as much as I have, but I've worked my tail off, both internally and externally. Like, I have worked my tail off to get here. And, you know, one of the lower frequencies, right, of magic is, you know, witchcraft, spells. I didn't really know all of that was real, right? You know, you see it in the movies, and practical magic is definitely one of my favorites. But spells are real, and we create life with our words, and we create life through our vibration. But we can also diminish life through our words and through our vibration. So when you're gossiping about other people, when you are sitting around your bistro tables and you're gossiping about people, you are sending them negative energy. And I think, again, some people do it intentionally. Some people definitely do it intentionally. Some people are just so not conscious of what they're emitting. But when you've been the receiver of multiple people attacking you, some you've never even met before and don't wish to meet, it, like, again, can really affect you. It can really bring you down. And that's that spiritual warfare of only aligning with energies that want to create a vision with you that is the same as your vision. You have a vision for your life. And with this lunar eclipse in Pisces, you're getting glimpses of that. You're really getting vivid dreams. You're having insight. Your intuition is kicking up, and you know what is your vision. And if there are people in your life that are trying to talk you out of it, or are gossiping behind your back, or wishing bad things on you, you'll feel that. I even have people in my life who purposely try to disturb my energy or manipulate my energy for their own personal gain. And it's bizarre, like it's just so bizarre to me. All of that time that you have spent focused on what I'm doing only took away from the time that you could have been bettering yourself. You could have been working on your own healing. You could have really understood your own patterns of behavior and why things are going the way they are for you. So as this lunar eclipse is highlighting areas for you and helping you make connections and see karmic patterns, for those that are choosing to ascend to the higher energies of magic and mysticism, it's going to be a fun ride. I think that I've already really started seeing it in my life pretty consistently of just, I didn't think it was going to go that way. I thought that this is going to happen, but it's this enlightenment of what's right for you, what's not, the energies that are right for you. The people that are meant to be in your life will bring you a sense of peace. When you look at how God describes relationships through the Bible, love is kind, it's patient, it's our friends are supportive of us, our friends pray for us, they don't prey on us. There's so many people that we have in our lives that we don't realize are these karmic lessons there to be reflections, to teach us lessons, and to empower us to step back in and say, no, this is not for me, this is for me. And with this energy of this Pisces Virgo axis, your mutable signs are definitely going to feel it more, but we're all feeling it. We're all, it's energy. You can feel it. It transfers. And people have, it transfers. And so when you're thinking about somebody, your energy is transferring to them. So if you're thinking about them negatively, they'll feel it. If you're thinking about them positively, they'll feel it. Your prayer will cover them if it's meant to. But if you prey on people and you wish ill intent on them, or you just speak ill of people, ultimately that is a reflection of how you feel about yourself. And that will come back to you. None of us can sit around and gossip about people, speak poorly of people, send negative energy to people, try to get people obsessed with them by doing weird stuff. That will come back to you. So if you've tried to humble somebody to keep them small in a box, my guess is it's because you feel small and in a box. If you try to get somebody obsessed with you, it's probably because you're obsessed with them. Like, it's written on the walls, And I think all of that is being illuminated right now. Like, you're going to be aware of the people in your life that are a negative influence and the people in your life that are a positive influence and the people that you should be associating with. A good way to check your circle is check their circle. If the people that are in your life only surround themselves with people that they feel are beneath them, that's a sign. It's a very clear sign. If people, I want my circle to inspire me. I don't necessarily want to be the bottom of my circle, but I don't mind being close to the bottom, because that means that everybody else in my life is elevated, is positive, and is making their dreams come true. Why would I not want to surround myself with people who go after what they want and make their dreams come true and believe in themselves? So if the people that you surround yourself with don't surround themselves with people who elevate them, who are a step above them, look into that. I would ask yourself why. Why? Let's just get curious. Start asking questions. Start talking to your spirit guides. Like, ask questions. Get curious on who you are, what you stand for, what you're willing to listen to, what you're willing to put up with. Get clear on your vision for your life, because it is time to make it happen. It just is time. Life is short. And if anything, through all the traumas that I have been through and everything that I've lost and everything that I've gained, the one thing that I know for sure is that life is short and we're really not in control. You know, you can pray and hope and wish and manifest and do whatever it is you want to do. But at the end of the day, you're not in control. There is this greater plan that is written for you. And surrendering to that ride, surrendering to the cosmic force that unites us all is actually really beautiful. And the magic is there, the beauty is there, the adventure is there, the fun, the love, the friendship, all of that. When we stop trying to force something to fit that doesn't, and we believe in ourselves and we go after what we want and we say no to everything that's not that, magical doors will open. Your soulmate will arrive. You'll be able to step into your dreams. You'll be able to release that fear of failure, release that fear of looking dumb, or of people really knowing what you've gone through. You know, one thing I tell my daughter, and she's a 0-degree Scorpio, so she's like a newbie when it comes to this death and rebirth energy. You're worthy of being seen. You're worthy of people knowing who you are. You are a beautiful creature. And when she steps into that, she's stunning and lively and fun and positive. But when she closes off, she doesn't allow the beauty of everything to come through, and it all comes down to this fear of being seen. And the only way I can truly break that for her is to break it for me. And as a parent, we do have responsibilities to break generational stuff so we don't pass it on to our kids. And that's insecurity, you know, it's jealousy, lust, greed, envy, you know, all of these sinful kind of thought patterns, habits that we have to break. And if we don't break them, our children will have to break them. And, you know, my kids will have to break their own stuff. You know, if you look at where your Pluto is in your natal chart, it can tell you what you have to break. That's the energy you have to break. You know, the Pluto and Leo generation, those are the baby boomers. So those are all the folks that moved out to the suburbs and bought the biggest house on the biggest piece of property. And, you know, Leo energy is very kind of, the lower end of Leo energy is very egotistical. The higher end of Leo energy is creative and shiny. So the Pluto generation had, and still has to break, a selfish mindset, you know. And then after that you move into Pluto and Virgo, and they had to break the keeping up with the Joneses. They have to break the idea of power and control. After Pluto and Virgo, you have the Pluto and Libra generation, which is a lot of 80s babies, late 70s babies. They're breaking codependency. And I have seen that firsthand. Pluto people who have Pluto and Libra, it squares my Mercury, so it really causes some issues there. It makes me feel like I can't really date anybody in my generation because of that. Pluto retrograded back to Scorpio when I was born for a very short amount of time, and then went back into Libra before it eventually went into Scorpio at the end of '84. But the Pluto and Libra generation, that's what they're breaking. They're breaking codependency patterns. Pluto and Scorpio, they are breaking this, like, they're kind of breaking out of their own selves. Some of them are breaking family dynamics. Some of them need to. I needed to do that. But it's about this like transformation of self. So we all have these generational cycles of things that we have to work through, and, Pluto and Sag, I'm struggling to know what they would have to work through, because Sag is just a very fun energy. Sag is, they probably have to break some lustful tendencies, some jumping in before they're ready tendencies. And then, our kids, the Pluto and Capricorn, those are the kids that are going to change the world. Like, prior to the Pluto and Aqua generation that's about to pop off, the Pluto and Capricorn, they are hard-working kiddos who believe in what's right and believe in a just system. And those are going to be the kids that change the world. And then you got your Pluto and Aquas who are going to kind of bring down that community, that humanitarianism. They're going to have to break out of being the weird ones. They're going to have to break that societal pattern of this is what's normal, this is what's not. What's not normal is having to wear a mask. That's not normal. And that, I think, as a society, is the shift that we really need to change. It's not normal to have to conform to what everybody else in your environment says for you. What should be normal is being your true, authentic self. That is the shift that is going to happen as we move, as Pluto moves and all of these planets change signs next year. You're going to see people stepping into themselves, and it's going to be beautiful. But in order to step into yourself and shine, you gotta release all of the stuff, and you have to get it out. And astrology can be so helpful to understand what you're going through, understand the collective energies, understand how you're being impacted. I got into astrology because I was going through a hard time. I think I've always been into astrology. I remember reading a lot of horoscopes as a kid. Like, I've always been very into it. But, just didn't pay that much attention to it. But it was honestly 6 months prior to my awakening, I could see, I was like, oh, there are gonna be a lot of breakups coming. Like, you could just see it. It's written in the charts, and it's written in your chart if you were meant to go through a divorce or not. Like, it just is. You can see it. So there has to be a balance of energy on the planet, a balance of egos, a balance of just a balance. So in relationships, if you have one person who wants to have the power and the control and all of the self-worth, and they try to keep this other person down, it's not an equal match, right? Both people in the relationship need to have this balance of worthiness and understanding their divinity and what they bring to the table and what they want and what their passions are, what their weaknesses are. Like, that has to be equal. So it's got to be equal within us first, and then we step out into the world, after we've learned all of our lessons and we've gone through the hard stuff. You can step back out and you can trust that this equilibrium has taken place. This balance on the planet has taken place just for you. And whether it's you've lost people along the way, I know that that's difficult, but those were truly people that could not go with you. They could not step into the next season with you, and were, quite frankly, keeping you on these karmic loops of disillusionment and despair and poverty and fear and an unworthiness of who you are and what you feel and what your experience is on the planet. Again, if we're neurons of God, we all have experiences that we're meant to share and have with other people, have fun, have love, have passion, have excitement. But there are things that we also have to work through, like our soul has to go through it. And I don't know if I've said this in other videos before, but as a kid, I think I thought that when you died, your soul was in heaven and you were healed. And the truth is, no. When you die, your soul is where it's at. If you haven't learned all your lessons in this lifetime, you will repeat until you do. And you'll repeat with the same people in different bodies, in different forms, in different dynamics, until you learn whatever that lesson is that you needed to learn. But you're on this planet to learn those lessons. Like, you are here to go through those hard times and have, life is a sensory experience. That's what we're here to do. We have 6 senses and, taste, touch, hear, smell, see, intuition. All of that is enhanced on this planet. And the more that we can tap into our intuition and the more that we can heal, we can really experience life through all of our senses. And it does become this very sensual, beautiful experience. And I do believe that that is what life is about. I mean, come on. Every morning I go outside, I go for a walk, it's just beautiful. And even when I lived in a state that I knew wasn't for me, I still could always see the beauty in the small things, because that is what life is about. It's about the small moments. All of those small moments make up your everyday. And when we focus too much on the negative, we don't do our healing work, we're going to continue to call in these same people in different bodies, these same energies. And a lot of them are these negative entities attached to bodies that are trying to come for you, and they're trying to teach you something. I think even those negative entities can come from God, and that God and the devil are almost one and the same coin. It's the creator. He is co-creating life with you to help heal the wounds of your soul so you can finally ascend and live eternally in heaven. You will not be able to live eternally in heaven if you can't heal the wounds of your soul. One of the first times that I had visited a medium was on my birthday after my mom died. And my relationship with my mom was a very difficult one. She, again, left when I was 7, just off doing, it was a rough ride. So after she died, I really felt like she would know the error of her ways and at least apologize, right? You now can see things the way that you should be able to see them. So I go into this mediumship, and it was a Zoom session, and my grandfather came through first, and I knew it was him because it was actually him and his brother, and they came through first. And the things that they were talking about, anybody in my family would know that was definitely, they were joking about who was the better dancer and described my great uncle looking like Elvis, which he did. So it was that was the start of my session. So I was like, okay, this is legit and I'm interested. So then, she's asking me questions what do you want to know? And I'm I would like to hear from my mom. And my grandmother's pulled my mother through in the session, and she said from the other side, she told the medium, I'm not going to give her what she wants because I like that this is still about me. And I just busted out laughing, because if you know my mom, she loved making things about her. She just did. So it was wow, even on the other side, you're the same, And so that was that was a clue. I want to heal all the wounds of my soul in this lifetime and forgive all of those who have hurt me in all of the lifetimes. Because I want to live eternally in heaven. I want to bring heaven to earth. I want to continue to experience this connection with God that I didn't have before, or I didn't feel my own divinity before. So while I may not be able to heal everything in this lifetime, and maybe I'll have to come back, I'm gonna work my damnedest not to. And I'm going to do everything I can to level up and to heal my wounds. To one, not project them onto my children, but to two, I want to heal my stuff because that's what I'm here to do. So you don't get a ticket to heaven just because you've said, please. You have to do the work. You have to show up. You have to show up for yourself. You have to heal those wounds that you've internalized from other people, that you've inflicted on yourself. And you have to see yourself through God's eyes. And, again, when you become a parent and you look at your child and you see how perfectly God made them, you have to reflect and say, wow, He made me the same. And if I know the love that God has for my kids through me, then that means that He has that for me as well. And if I didn't get to feel that love through my biological parents, I can now choose as an adult to feel that love through my Creator, my planet, Earth is the mother, God is the father. There is truth to that. Earth is what gives you life. It feeds you, it houses you, it holds you. But God is the firm foundation in which that can all thrive. So the appreciation that I have for life now, I knew that I was disconnected. I would write about it in my journal. I'm so disconnected. I'm disconnected from everything. Why do I feel this way? One, I had people in my life who purposely were trying to disconnect me. And two, I was not paying attention to my own needs, wants, and desires. I was too busy trying to fix everybody else so I didn't have to fix myself. And I think that empaths need to recognize that too. That when you're so busy trying to help other people, when you're so busy trying to be there for other people, not hurt other people, you're really abandoning yourself. You're abandoning that little kid in you that had dreams and visions and life goals and, a vision for what love was or what their career would be. And when you sacrifice yourself, you're not doing it for the greater good. Because the real sacrifice of self is when you die an ego death. You die for the creation of your true, authentic life. And going through that ego death is really difficult. And, I didn't have a lot of support when I was going through it. I did have people there for me, but it was really hard to know who to trust and what to believe. And I am very compassionate for people who are going through that and are struggling through not knowing the truth of their soul. I think it takes an unraveling to bring you back to self. So I want my videos to be like a glimmer of hope if you are going through a difficult time, to know that there is another side. And you will get there through hard work, through obedience, through discipline to yourself. And it's not always, self-care is not just about going to the gym and getting facials and brushing your teeth. Self-care is about how you talk to yourself, how you show up for yourself, how you recognize that your experience is valuable and You have gifts that are meant to be shared, and you have experiences that other people can relate to, and they can say, if she can overcome all of that crap and still shine her light that way, then maybe there's something that I can do too. You know, people who shine a bright light will cast shadows on the people who are not. That is literally what we're here to do. So I've had a few people who are light workers like I am say, why am I the only one? Because, you know, 12 light bulbs in one room, you're not gonna know. It's just gonna be a well-lit room, which is wonderful. But one light bulb in a dark room like shines the light on stuff that needs to be seen. And we are strategically placed in people's lives and environments and jobs to shine light on what's going well, what's not, where can we learn and grow, bringing people together, all of that. We all have that light inside of us. Like, all of us have this source inside of us that we are meant to tap into. And again, whether you like it or not, I do believe that all of us are being pushed in this direction of community and connection and oneness. And we have to release all of the snakes, the pythons, you know, these spirits that have tried to take a hold of us and keep us in lower frequencies of lust, fear, greed, envy, unworthiness, all of that. You have to shed all of that to come back to self. I do believe that that is happening now for a lot of people. I do believe that this mass awakening is occurring. I think that we're all understanding, maybe not all, of course not all, a lot of people who are choosing to rise above the traumas, who are choosing to face themselves, who are choosing the light, who are choosing to see the divinity within themselves and everybody else around them. You know, you're walking into a time of bliss, and I pray that you share your bliss with other people. I pray that you inspire other people, and I pray for those who are not doing the work. I pray for you the most. I pray that you see the divinity within yourself so you don't have to continuously try to steal it from other people. I pray that you come to a reckoning with yourself and you deal with whatever shame, blame, guilt that you have within inside you, because you're worthy too. And you're worthy of whatever it is that you desire once you heal yourself. So, let your vivid dreams shine. Let your mystical and magical nature, let it be free. Ground it into the earth with that Virgo sun energy and bring your dreams to life. What can you do today that can change just a little bit of your energy? Because it's going to be what you admit out into the world. What stories are you telling yourself, about life? What can you shift just a little bit to start to see a change within yourself, within the people around you, within the collective? We're here to alchemize all of what we've gone through, from pain to beauty. So, as always, I believe in you. I pray for healing. I pray that you stop comparing yourself to anybody else, that you no longer compare your journey to other people, that you stop listening to other people and you get connected with your heart and you allow yourself to be seen. You allow yourself to be vulnerable. You allow yourself to be open. You allow yourself to be hurt. And you feel your way through it, and you love your way through it. And trust that you are supported in this process. This process is necessary. It's one that you agreed to before you got down here. And it's a beautiful one. You just have to lean into it. So I pray, and I'll see you later.